everyone, today I've got my Hillbilly Elegy movie review. A Yale law student drawn back to his Appalachian hometown reflects on his family's history and his own future. Is this the movie to watch right now? As far as the story goes, Ron Howard directs this movie that was released on Netflix, and I'm literally going into this movie blind without having seen any trailers or knew basically anything about it beforehand, so I'm literally completely clueless of what it's really about, except it's based on a story with a memoir of the same name written by the main character of this movie. And its grassroots setting shows this family who has quite frankly gone through life in this struggling, abusive state. It's just crazy to see how these multiple generations that the movie focuses on, the strife falls on the son who is witnessing his mom's addiction, the multi-mother-daughter relationships that are a bit rocky, and the sister and brother having to pick up the pieces and try and live a normal life. And with that said, right away you can feel the tension this family faces with all their constant yelling back and forth, which at times was overly done, and I kept on wondering when it would end. But I was also willing to give this movie a chance because I wanted to see this for one main reason, and that is for the big names in front of and behind the camera. As far as the casting goes, you've got Amy Adams, who plays Bev, and she is a mother who is struggling with an addiction that may either bring this family closer together or potentially break them apart. And I'm actually a big fan of hers, so to see her in this movie, I felt like her character was very believable in this role where at times I just really felt for, what she was going through when she kept on touting like, oh, I was the top of my class, and she works as this nurse who is trying to make ends meet, and then she's just going through all this stuff. I mean, her transformation alone was what really sold me on her character and the way she delivered her lines, and I hope to see some awards recognition for her because I think that it would be very well deserved, as well as Glenn Close, who plays her mother, who is equally unrecognizable in her role, and she plays this grandmother as well to the kids in this family where she seems to be the one that's picking up all the slack and just doing everything for them, and she's basically what I would call the breadwinner at times, but equally not letting anybody walk all over her and sort of take advantage of her. So she's definitely a powerhouse in this movie. Just seeing the relationship she has with all of these people, I just think really, brings out, her personality. She definitely plays a very unique role because she also carried this wisdom based on past events that the character goes through, and they were also quite traumatizing in the family. Gabriel Basso plays the son JD, who is the one who's trying to land this interview for a prestigious position, but gets thrown back into all the family drama when it's a critical moment in his life where, he really wants to succeed and, see his life change for the better. But then all this stuff with his mom happens, and his sister, played by Haley Bennett, she did a decent job as well in this movie, trying to come in and out of this drama. And I would have definitely loved to see more of her character on screen. And you've also got Frida Pinto, who I also found very lovely to see as well, and she plays JD's girlfriend. The things that I liked about this movie was that even though it was a lot to process and absorb as far as the narrative goes, it kept me wanting to see more, and how all of the and see how all of the conflicts were going to be resolved, because when you see someone struggling with abuse and doing drugs, and I felt like it was handled in such a way that makes you really feel uncomfortable, and I don't know if that was, how it was supposed to be executed, like that was the goal that Ron Howard was trying to make, because I had never seen him really direct a movie quite like this before, so it was kind of different to see how, you know, it's this literally ongoing crisis going on in this country, and I still feel like it needs to be addressed. And this movie also carried strong messages of hope and possibilities, because even if you come from a low-income family, if you work hard enough, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. And I feel like this movie could be relatable to a lot of people, especially those who are sort of, you know, seeing these struggles and experiencing all of these things this one family is. And due to its raw and emotional storytelling, it really does hit you in the feels. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that it does get a little bit repetitive at times with some of the actions the characters are taking, and it feels like they could have found something else to help move the story along faster. And it was also very melancholy. I ended up tweeting about this too, and it kind of frustrated me whenever something crazy happened in the family, because it seemed to come out of nowhere. Like, there's this one scene with Amy Adams and she's screaming, but you don't see it happening, and then everybody in the neighborhood is like witnessing this like breakdown, and then the family's breaking down, and it's this vicious cycle of things to come, and it just sort of like had me wondering like how it all started, because we didn't see it happen, and then it just left me confused after that. So overall, I would say that with everything going on in the world, I was worried that this was going to be too much to watch subject-wise for me, and especially a movie like this. I really learned a lot about how a certain family unit functions even under troubling circumstances, and you're watching to see a resolution play out and for them to overcome obstacles, and I think the movie accomplishes just that. So I would still recommend seeing this movie. It may not be for everyone, but I still think it's one to check out just for the acting alone. So I would give this 3 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Hillbilly Elegy, and as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys later.